Again, I'm not going to be able to comment on these matters.
Mr. Chairman, this just makes no sense at all. I've been a lawyer all my life. I have some idea of what is protected when you have a ongoing bit of litigation. Whether this individual has seen an official memo from within his own department is a very simple question to answer, and I think it's completely inappropriate to have this game of dodgem be pursued without any consequences. Well,
a dangerous new line has just been drawn regarding federal tax law. When the head of the Treasury Department explicitly refuses to tell Congress if the chief executive is entirely immune from IRS audits, the fundamental promise of equal justice under the law is fractured. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse just launched a relentless, direct cross-examination to expose an unprecedented shield of financial immunity, and the defense completely locked up.
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse.
Thanks very much, Secretary. Welcome. Have you identified any precedent in Treasury or IRS history for the agreement not to audit, investigate, or pursue any tax claims against the Trump family or businesses?
I can't identify any precedent where 400,000 tax returns, including the people you just mentioned and all of their employees, were leaked in a violation of one of the most sacred duties of the IRS.
So let me cut to that then. Senator. The leak was by a contractor. Can you tell me what contribution is being sought by Treasury or by the IRS for the harm done by the contractor? To a certain extent, your organization and the IRS are the victim of the contractor's malfeasance or negligence. What is being pursued by way of contribution by that contractor?
Well, the ranking member chastised me for cutting the contractor's contracts off, and we have removed their contracts, their ability to do business with Treasury and the IRS.
But there is no contribution into this particular case.
Again, Senator, you weren't here earlier, but I'm unable to discuss most of this because of ongoing litigation.
Yeah, I know everybody likes to say that, but the constitutional...
We like to follow the law, Senator.
And the law is that the Congress has constitutional oversight functions that do not disappear simply because there is litigation, however convenient it may be, by way of providing answers. So we have no precedent for it. No contribution is being sought from the contractor at fault. Was there any consideration to the government in return for the benefits of no audit, no investigation, no challenge or pursuit of refunds or other penalties?
Again, Senator, I'm unable to comment because of litigation. Treasury is represented by the Department of Justice in all matters. They act as our attorneys, so I would suggest that you direct your questions to Acting Attorney General Blanche.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of times people who are before us invite me to ask my questions of somebody who's not before us, but you're the one who is before us, and I think you ought to know if there was any consideration offered or paid in return for that settlement. It's a very simple fact question. Was there or was there not consideration?
Again, there's ongoing litigation, and I suggest that you speak with the Treasury attorneys.
If this kind of behavior is okay with the chairman, I'll just pursue other questions. But, you know, what goes around comes around in terms of dodging questions.
I believe it's very clear that witnesses of any kind cannot discuss ongoing litigation.
They can certainly discuss a fact that they are aware of. The fact that there is some litigation out there doesn't mean that a witness can't say, yeah, there was no consideration, or yes, there was consideration. Was there a defense analysis memo? It's referenced in the judge's decision in Florida. Was there a defense analysis memo prepared by the IRS? And more specifically, did you see it?
Again, I'm not going to be able to comment on these matters.
Mr. Chairman, this just makes no sense at all. I've been a lawyer all my life. I have some idea of what is protected when you have a ongoing bit of litigation. Whether this individual has seen an official memo from within his own department is a very simple question to answer, and I think it's completely inappropriate to have this game of dodgem be pursued without any consequences. Well, last of all, here's another question. Was there any analysis of what harm befell President Trump from having his taxes released when every president since Nixon released their taxes and he had promised to? Did anybody analyze whether there was actually any harm at all to him in those circumstances?
So there was a crime. President's rights under 6103 of the IRS code was violated, and equally as important, 400,000 taxpayers had that right violated, including every employee of the Trump administration, the housekeepers at Doral, the greenskeepers, the cashiers.
And you're welcome to pursue all of that,
care.
but it doesn't answer the question of whether the president actually suffered harm. And you're not answering that question either.
Senator Cortez Masto.
What we are watching play out on the Senate floor is a critical, high-stakes battle over basic structural accountability. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse walked into this hearing with an unyielding objective: force the administration to admit that they have quietly engineered a dual-track justice system that protects the ultra-powerful while leaving regular taxpayers vulnerable. Whitehouse opened his line of questioning by striking at the absolute core of the controversy, demanding to know if there is a single historical precedent where the Treasury or the IRS formally agreed never to audit, investigate, or pursue tax claims against a specific political family and their private businesses. Unable to produce a single historical example to justify this special treatment, Secretary Bessent immediately deployed an aggressive, scripted deflection. He attempted to weaponize a past taxpayer data leak by an outside contractor to completely shift the narrative, trying to frame the executive branch as the ultimate victim of institutional negligence. But watch how thoroughly Whitehouse completely dismantled this defensive armor, when Bessent repeatedly hid behind the shield of ongoing litigation to dodge basic fact-based questions. Even refusing to state whether any legal consideration or benefit was given to the government in exchange for this audit amnesty, the administrative cover-up was laid bare. Whitehouse forcefully reasserted a foundational constitutional truth: a pending lawsuit in a Florida court does not nullify or erase the United States Congress's explicit constitutional oversight duties. The Secretary's continuous attempts to pass the buck, telling lawmakers to go ask the acting Attorney General instead, completely exposed a deliberate strategy of stonewalling. The structural hypocrisy reached its peak during the final clash over internal documentation. When Bessent refused to even confirm if he had laid eyes on his own department's internal defense analysis memo, it became completely undeniable that the administration is running a protective game of dodgium. By wrapping up with a sharp reminder that what goes around comes around, Whitehouse put a definitive spotlight on the reality of the situation. When public officials refuse to answer basic, transparent questions about special tax privileges for the well-connected, they destroy public trust in our democratic institutions. This intense confrontation forces every American to confront an alarming question about institutional integrity. Should any political figure or corporate entity ever be granted a custom legal settlement that permanently insulates them from standard IRS audits? Does a loophole like this completely compromise the fairness of our tax system? Let me know your honest take in the comments section below, your perspective on structural equity matters. If you support unyielding oversight that demands real answers and refuses to let high-ranking officials dodge accountability, smash that like button to push this video through the platform's distribution filters. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can catch our very next breaking breakdown directly from the committee rooms.